That should be good. So, welcome back, everybody, to the to this I Sigma Live podcast. I'm joined in this session with William Wakefield from PowerKnot. William, thank you for being here.
Thanks for having me.
No, thanks. So tell me, so PowerKnot's such a strange name. It's a lot of times, you especially in this industry, the name kind of tells you what people do. But PowerKnot didn't tell me. So tell me, what is PowerKnot? What do you do? What are you here at the show for?
So, PowerKnot, we originally began in 2009. Our main bread and butter is a food waste digester.
Okay.
So this is a machine that will eat your food waste. It's like a giant stainless steel stomach. It sits somewhere in the kitchen, usually by a dishwasher, and the customer would put their food waste in, blend a microorganisms, eat it up, digest it, and it turns it into a gray water. And it just goes down the drain. There's no smell, no mess.
So
right?
no black water, no main drain, sewer drain, or anything. Incredible.
So the idea of this is, of course, it saves the customer money and a lot of problems. Say there's pest problems, workplace injuries, no more bags, no more smells or anything like this. But it's also really good for the environment because there's no methane being produced. It's an aerobic digestion process. And the name PowerKnot, there's all these problems in the world. It's a big knot, and we're trying to, with our bit, help untangle this knot.
Untangle
so
some
that's
of the
what
knot.
that's where the name comes from.
Fantastic. I love it.
So we've been building the biodigester for 16 years, and we originally began fulfilling contracts for the United States military. And then, of course, the Canadians caught on shortly after, and we won the contract with them. So we're on military bases across the U.S. and Canada. Anytime there's a new facility, we're automatically spec'd in. Well, maybe 10 years ago, the Canadians, they wanted a bin tipper, right, to tip into our digesters and into dumpsters, etc. So we went around and built the best bin tipper that we could for this application. And about a year and a half ago, we understand that the gentleman who made the Easy Tipper out of Texas, he tragically passed away. And there was this space where people needed this product. And VRC, they saw our bin tipper and 100% stainless steel, very robust, very durable. We build things to last 15 to 20 years. They saw this and they said, hey, could you build us a bin tipper, right, to fit for our needs in our industry? And we went and we saw the Easy Tipper that we had and made quite a bit of improvements on it. One, we use stainless steel. Everything's 100% stainless steel. That's what we do. But the bearings are stainless steel as well. And then, we've got over 100 tips on a single charge, and it only takes 4 hours to charge. So this was something that was needed. And not only does it power up, but it powers down. So up and down in under 20 seconds. And this tipper is designed to sit in the back of the box truck, right? So the guys don't have to bring the bins and swap them out. They can just bring the bins, dump them into the Gaylord in the back of the truck. Right. They can fit a lot more paper in the Gaylords and make more stops. It makes things much more efficient and cost-saving for them.
It's incredible. How did VRC find you? It seems like quite a distant connection, or were they were looking around after
They were looking, yes. So I know that they were considering purchasing the Easy Tipper because once he passed away. They were pretty much done. They didn't want to continue.
Didn't want to sell.
And then
okay.
they put it up for sale, and VRC almost, they said, well, they considered purchasing it, but they don't have any knowledge of manufacturing, right? And we do.
You do, yeah,
right?
absolutely.
So they saw our bin tipper, right? Our SBT 140, and that's what they liked. They said, hey, we want like one like this that will, be designed for our industry. And so that's how that began.
So the dumb guy in the room who's not been in the industry for a long, long time. If how does this fit in? Are these fitted into a normal box truck, or is this part of the shred truck? Help me understand where it fits in.
It can fit into a normal box truck. So instead of buying a $300,000 or $500,000 shred truck, which from what I understand, it's very expensive to run, and then of course with our gas, gas
absolutely
fluctuating, it's very expensive. So with this, they can just buy a $100,000 box truck and put one of our bin tippers in there and bring everything back. And I guess this is the most efficient model, rather than driving the truck on site, to bring everything and shred it in their own facility. And it's more secure that way, I understand.
Yeah, and again, a lot of the times people may have a box truck that I'm trying to think about somebody, maybe they're in the record storage. If the business isn't as busy as it was, that could allow them to repurpose the truck,
Exactly.
which rather than going out and purchasing a whole new shred truck.
Yeah.
That's an interesting one I hadn't thought about. So if somebody was starting to to get into this, what would get them to think about this? Because I mean I wouldn't have even thought that this technology was available. So it's like, is it an education process now to get out and make people really aware that this technology exists?
It can be. I understand a lot of the guys, they want to move to this model rather than bringing the shredding on site and having these trucks, these expensive trucks. But it's the customer, right? So they need to educate the customer that, hey, you already trust me with storing your documents for 10 years. Why don't you trust me to destroy them in our own facility?
Because it is a bit of a change, isn't it? There was and again, I'm going back a little bit, but there was definitely this push to kind of say, hey, look, we're destroying it on your premises and you can watch it. So you feel really good about it. And it's almost turning that back around now and saying, you don't have to worry that it's not being shredded on your property. We're gonna bring it back. So there's a little bit of re-education maybe there.
Yeah, that's what I understand. I mean, it's not like these people come out and watch it every single time. They may come out the first time to watch it, and see what happens, but after that they never do. And so from what I understand, what everybody has told me, it's actually more secure to do it with this new model that everybody is going forward with.
Yeah, and I spoke earlier about baling, so this gives an option if people, with the baling as well, I guess, for the flow through. Or you can do that with the shred truck, obviously, as well. So when you're working with somebody new, what are the kind of safety issues with this though? Because obviously you're putting now a piece of machinery into the back of a box truck, so there needs to be some safety. How do you help and ensure that nobody gets hurt with this now in the truck?
Well, it's pretty simple operation. We do have everything is the grabbers are spring loaded. It's very slow when it comes up. They have a key. There is an emergency switch as well. And there's nothing that's going to jump out at them. They have the ability with the long extension cord, they can stand away from the tipper, as far as they want, and the operation will...
So you've done the very best to redesign safety into the product,
yes.
Like you say, stop switches and being able to stand away from it, and the pieces they touch are very safe. Everything's nice and slow.
Yes.
How about maintenance? If I buy one of these and I have an issue with it, how do you maintain it or help the customer maintain it?
Well, we offer a 1-year warranty. On top of that, we do offer, a service plan in case they don't want to worry about anything, and that will extend the warranty indefinitely.
That's okay. Yeah. No, that's good. Yeah.
Sorry. Say the question to me one more time.
So I was just thinking about the maintenance because
The
obviously,
maintenance.
yeah,
Right,
because
right,
obviously
right.
if something goes down, then that's a cost to you now, and if you bring it back and you don't have the tipper now, it's
Right.
it's quite labor intensive, obviously.
So our maintenance is very, very minimal. We've designed this thing to be bulletproof. The battery may be the only thing that needs to be replaced. There's a hydraulic unit inside that does need to be, serviced once a year. You'll need to put some more fluid in there.
Yeah, but it
It's
sounds
pretty
minimal.
basic though.
Yeah, and you mentioned that recharging. So pretty much you do a full work shift and then just recharge it overnight,
or multiple shifts. So some of the locations, these guys, they only charge it maybe once or twice a week.
Oh, really? Wow,
Yeah.
that's fantastic.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's very, very cost efficient on that.
Whereas
So
the other tipper, they would only get maybe 30 tips, and then they would have 14 hours that they would have to charge it. So with us, they get over 100 tips, and it charges in 4 hours pretty quickly.
So that's an amazing cost benefit of that
Yes.
already, because I can I can turn drivers around and keep that truck on the road if need be.
Yeah, and it's not just for box trucks. I mean,
Yeah, we just use
there's
that
a multitude of applications that this tipper could be used for. Any sort of material handling. If the guys don't want to do that in the box trucks, they can of course use this. It's very easy, very convenient to move around. You can lock the wheels. That's another safety feature.
Okay,
Of course,
good,
if it's
yeah.
in the truck, you lock the wheels down once you put it in place. But it's very easy for them to maneuver around the floor, and I've heard nothing but positive
Really good
feedback from everything.
Again, you've obviously worked with the customers. You mentioned when VRC came out, you didn't just say, "Hey, here's our tipper, take it or leave it." You worked with them to really design it for their specific need.
Yeah, we listened to everything that they wanted, gave it to them, and then went farther. We really try to build for all the products. We over-engineer everything. We build things to last, and we want to offer a quality product because that's the most important thing to us is customer satisfaction.
Yeah, and as you mentioned, longevity with the product, and you must be constantly getting new learnings as well. If you've got large military installations who are using your primary product,
Yes.
you can flow those learnings all the way through. So, do you find that you have a constant iteration on the devices? The tipper's new one every few years with learnings, or is the design pretty locked in and really solid?
I mean, we're on our 9th generation of biodigester.
Yes.
We always listen to our customers and we make improvements. The same will go with the bin tipper. We made improvements on the old tipper. I'm sure if there is any room for an improvement, it will be made.
So just constantly innovate based on the feedback you get from your customers.
Exactly.
Yeah. I got to ask you, how did you get into this?
Into the bin tippers?
Yeah.
Well, that's so I.
Well,
so
just
Nathan
even
Green reached out and we spoke, and I said, well, maybe we can do this, and then of course I got with our president Ian Milnes and our engineers and said, yeah, we can do this, and that's how it started. So
fantastic. And how it's great. Is this the first time you've been to the show, or have you
this
been
is our first show?
And
Yeah.
how's it going for you?
It's good. Everybody's really nice. I've had a lot of positive feedback in emails and phone calls over the last couple of weeks leading up to it. Everybody is
Fantastic.
very, very nice and welcoming, and it's a very tight knit community, which I like, and yeah, everybody knows everyone, and everyone is very happy to introduce and yeah, it's different than any other show I've been to.
I think this industry is absolutely unique. People
Yeah.
are some of the most wonderful people that you'll meet, and I've never seen, you know, where competitors and all will come together and openly share. Because they want to, I think it's the the rising tide lifts all boats kind of mentality, and it's just been a wonderful group. So I'm glad you're experiencing that as well. That's fantastic. So obviously getting attention on the show floor for the people who are watching the live podcast or going to watch or listen to them later. How would they get hold of you?
Well, they can they can email me.
Yeah. Or your website is.
They can go on the website.
Yep. Which
Powernot.com. That's POWERKNOT.com.
And they'll reach out to you directly.
Yep. My email is william.wakefield. That's WAKEFIELD at powernot.biz, B-I-Z. And
yep. Hopefully, plenty of people reach out to you. I think it's absolutely fascinating what you're doing. I just love the way that because when I went on the website at first, I'm like, I am so interested to talk to William.
You probably saw all the other equipment that we manufacture.
Yeah, I'm like, I need to see how this story came
turn
about.
the food waste into water, and then here's the bin tippers.
But it's a wonderful story again. How an industry that's maybe doesn't seem related, but some of the technology is so similar and can be. And I think you coming in can bring different insights, give people options that maybe they didn't have before. And I think that's a wonderful thing. So thank you so much for joining the podcast. I hope the show is really great for you, and you keep being a member of iSigma, and you'll enjoy this show for many years to come.
Thank you.
Okay, take care.
You too.